Glam Jammers, Glam Jammers, Glam Jammers, Glam Jammers, Glam Jammers, Glam Jammers, Glam Jammers. Hi Glam Jammers, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, I'm Kendall. You can be a part of the Glam Jam squad. If you subscribe, click the bell, do the YouTube thing. If not, well, enjoy this video. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. We don't want petty subscribers, okay? We want happy family subscribers, okay? Okay. So anyways, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to talk a little bit about my breastfeeding journey. I don't have a ton of like tips. I'm not that mom that's gonna be like, here's tips because I know what I'm talking about. No, I'm just gonna share my journey, and it may help some of you that are on a similar journey. It may prepare some of you that are about to try to breastfeed. It may just inspire some of you guys to keep going if you're struggling. I don't really know, but I want to document my journey and just share it with you guys and a few things I've learned that have helped me. Will it help you? I don't know, but let me know in the comments down below if it does. First off, I want to start from the very beginning when I first gave birth. So my son now is 11 weeks old. He is super duper handsome. I'll post a picture of him because he's just that cute, and I'm that mom that shares pictures of her son all the time. Anyways, that's Kingston, and we have been breastfeeding since he was born. So when he was born, you know, he latched right away. The first couple days we kind of struggled with a good latch, but we got down the good latch. And that's something I really want to touch on. Is it's hard to understand the pain when you first start breastfeeding, because it's going to be uncomfortable no matter what. It's not going to feel good unless it shouldn't feel good. And it's hard to decide if, okay, this is the pain that I'm expecting because I'm starting to breastfeed and your nipples are going to be sore. Or is this a pain because he's not latched correctly? Or is this a pain because maybe thrush or something, which we'll get into. Yay me. So that was hard as a first-time mom, not understanding what pain I should be feeling and what pain is normal, what pain is abnormal. So like, let me try to describe it a little bit to you guys. The normal pain that you should feel is like a pulling and a bruising, or not a bruising, sorry, a pulling and like a cracking feeling. If it feels like just a dry area is being like pulled on, that's normal, and it hurts. It hurts until you get more of a rough nipple and you can kind of handle that. So the first couple weeks, it's not gonna feel good. But if it's feeling like a stinging feeling or a bruising feeling or a like popping feeling, that is not normal. That is because there may be a bad latch. That is because you may be experiencing thrush, which is a yeast infection, and you can get that on your nipple and in the baby's mouth. Well, I have lots to share with you on that. But there's multiple reasons, and I suggest figuring that out, consulting with a lactation consultant, and maybe even talking to your pediatrician about it, because that is not a normal feeling and that can push you to give up for sure. That pain ain't fun. So let's talk about my personal journey. It hurt real bad for the first couple weeks. And one time, I want to give you guys this little story. I was scared, like it scared the crap out of me. I remember sitting in the chair and my fiance was next to me and I was feeding Kingston. He was so little, and I'm staring at him because duh, first time mom probs, staring at him feed, and all of a sudden he sucks and I see blood go all over his face. You guys, I was so scared. One, because I have humongous breasts, like my boobs are big. So I'm gonna talk about big booby probs also. But because they're larger, I have to hold it. And I've heard all the horror stories of like big breasts smothering their child, and what happens is they end up with blood. So I was so scared. What happened is he sucked and it was a bad latch. And it like, he popped like his mouth and it like cracked my nipples, and it just like blood went, he sucked. I was like so freaked out, okay? But it didn't harm anything. It does happen, cracked nipples and bloody nipples may happen to you. Congratulations, this may happen to you. Just to give you an FYI, so you don't freak out when you look down and see that like I did. It can happen, it may happen, it may have happened to you. Let me know in the comments below if it did happen to you. And I just, you know, cleaned out his mouth. Anyways, now what I did for my nipples when they hurt, I used ice packs on them. I used hot packs on them. You can use different nipple creams. The Lacinol, I believe is what it's called, is a great one. Just like, it's a really thick, almost like Aquaphor. It's like a really thick cream to moisturize them, and then air drying them. Air drying them will really help. And it's kind of awkward because you're just like laying there with your nipples out, but I mean, you were just laying on the table with everything else out. So your nipples ain't much right now, okay? Oh, anyways, but yeah, letting them air dry, even having some of your milk on your nipples and letting that dry in. Obviously, we know our milk is liquid gold, so it helps us as well. Okay, I really want to talk about big booby problems because these things are large. I don't even know what size they are. They are changing sizes very often, but they're large. In sense, they're large. So it can be difficult breastfeeding with bigger boobs, especially in public. Just because they're heavy and they're big, and you don't want it to be all on his face. He has to be able to breathe also. So especially when he was littler, it's getting easier and easier as he gets bigger because his head to boob proportion is getting more equal. So now I don't have to hold my boob as much, but I still have to hold my boob underneath. So when I'm feeding him, let me kind of show you guys maybe. So if I have him right here and he's down here on my nipple, I have to hold my boob like this and kind of pancake it in and then hold it up, or it just falls out of his mouth. You like my mess? Hey. But it will just fall out of his mouth because gravity, you know, gravity just takes it away. And that doesn't feel good either. If he's trying to suck and it's falling out of his mouth, that messes with the latch. But the bigger his head gets, the easier it is, and it just fits kind of better there. I can position my body a certain way when I'm laying down. I don't have to hold it, but in public, I definitely do. And then when I'm just sitting up, I definitely have to hold it as well. Now, when I first found out I was pregnant, I really wanted to try to breastfeed, but I'm a bariatric surgery patient, so that means my stomach is very small. I had a weight loss surgery that removed a large portion of my stomach, so now I have a teeny tiny stomach. So I can't eat a lot at each time. I have to eat very small proportions. So my fear was that I wasn't gonna be able to produce enough milk. I wasn't gonna have, you know, nutritious enough milk. But as you can see, my handsome Pansome is a chunkster, and he's getting plenty nutrition, okay? Plenty of nutrition. But I really wanted to breastfeed, and my fear, like I said, was not being able to have enough nutrition or enough milk supply for my baby. And so when I found out that I was able to, you know, at the beginning, it's hard, you're not getting a lot of milk, and then all of a sudden your milk comes in, and then you have a lot of milk. And so I had like some stored from my Haka and all this, blah, 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 blah. And I remember like, oh, this is crazy. I have so much milk supply. This is insane. And then it evens out, and you freak out, and you're like, oh, hold up, what happened to all my milk? I'm not producing all this crazy milk anymore. Oh my gosh, what happened? It's normal. I didn't know it was normal, but it's normal. And so then you're like, he's not getting enough. He's not getting enough. If you just keep having him latch and keep having him, you know, the cluster feeding sucks, but it helps your milk supply, and it tells your body, our body's so cool, you guys, but it tells our body how much milk we need to produce. If he's trying to suck and trying to eat more often, then it's gonna tell our body to produce more and more milk quicker and quicker. You have to make sure that they're try to get them to drink as much as possible and empty out the boob so it can fill back in, okay? Trying to feed in public. I didn't really go too many places when he was little, just because it's a lot of work, and you know, especially knowing he's eating so often, it was just like, it kind of gave me major anxiety to even think about going anywhere when he was that little, which is okay. You don't have to. If you don't have to go anywhere, don't. Especially during flu season, stay home. Anyways, the first time I went out to feed in public, I was so nervous. But I told myself I was going to, because when I would go out in public before, I would plan it where, okay, I can be out this long, I need to get home so I can feed him. Or, oh, I have a bottle of breast milk, like it wasn't pumped, but it was like from my Haka. I have a bottle of breast milk to feed him when I'm out, so I don't have to feed him in public, right? I was so nervous, like so nervous, which it's okay to be nervous, but how do you get over your fears and your nervousness? You jump in and you do it, right? So I did, I jumped in and did it, and it was actually while I was at lunch with my friend Brianka. She has a little baby the same age, and I was like, he's hungry, I don't have a bottle. I could make him a formula of a bottle, but no. I told my fiance earlier that day, I said, today's the day I'm gonna breastfeed in public. In fact, I didn't even have formula. I purposely did not pack a bottle or formula with me, so I had to breastfeed him if he was hungry. So I told him, I said, babe, today's the day I'm gonna breastfeed in public today. I don't know why I was so nervous, because when I see mothers breastfeeding, it's so beautiful to me. Like, I'm not gonna judge them. I think it's so beautiful. Covered, not covered. It's so cool that our bodies are able to feed our child, right? So he starts crying, and I'm like, that's the hungry cry. I know my boy, that's the hungry cry. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. So I get the blanket over me and I tuck it into my bra, I get me unbuckled, I'm doing it, but my boob's so big and I couldn't see where my nipple was to put it in his mouth because his head is so small at this point. He was only a couple weeks old. Oh my gosh, so finally I'm like, screw this cover. I like take the cover off, and then I latch him, and then I throw the cover back on. Okay, so I was proud of myself. I was feeding him in a restaurant. We were actually outside in downtown Tempe, so people were walking by like crazy. It wasn't like a very secluded area. It was pretty poppin'. And I was so proud of myself. So ever since then, it's been easier and easier. Now, every time he cries in public, every time he wants to eat in public, I still get the thumbs. Like, it's not easy for me still, but it's getting easier and easier every time. And I kind of relate that to everything in life. Everything gets easier the more you do it, right? And now I start to put a cover on still, and I like think about putting my shirt over his head, and then I'm like, it's not easy for me. It's not comfortable for him. It's gotta be awkward looking at a shirt while you eat. Like, how fun is that? He wants to see my pretty face, you know? Like, I don't want a blanket over my head when I'm eating. So why am I doing this to my son? So then every time I like start to, I'm like, screw it. It's harder for everybody that way. And I'm like, if people want to see my boob, they can look. If people don't want to see my boob, they can look away, okay? So that's kind of where I've shifted my mindset now, and it's been helping me. Again, it's still not like so easy for me to do, but it's getting easier and easier. And it's not that I care what other people think. If you guys know me and have followed me at all on any platforms, you guys know I really don't give a rat's ass what anyone thinks of me. So I don't know why it holds me back, but we're getting there. We are getting there. Also, I will say I haven't got any negative feedback with breastfeeding. I've gotten a few like looks, like, is she really doing that right here? Or is that her boob, or what is that? I don't know what they're thinking, but I've gotten a few looks, double glances, like, oh, that's not normal. I don't know what they're thinking. Maybe they're like, go sister. And I just am thinking they're thinking negative. Who knows, you know? But an older lady stopped by yesterday, actually, while I was feeding him, and I was eating lunch as well. And she was just so encouraging, saying I was doing such an amazing thing. She's glad that I feel comfortable doing it in public. Flaunt that. Like, she really hyped me up about what I was doing for my son, and it made me feel really good and really powerful. I'm not at all like pro breastfeeding, pro formula. Like, I'm not. Fed is best. Feed your baby. Do your job and keep your baby alive and feed them. I don't care. They're all gonna eat chicken nuggets off the floor someday anyways. So formula, breastfed, do what works for you and your family the best, okay? Back to, whoa, I just unpopped and was gonna show you everything. Big boob props. But yeah, so what were we saying? Oh, the positive feedback. Take all that positive feedback and run with it. Like, hold on to those things, because it really does keep you going, especially in your low moments. I'm here to tell you, it will not all be sunshine and rainbows and flowers and unicorns and all things pretty. It won't. In fact, most of the time, especially in the beginning couple months. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be painful, it's gonna be annoying, it's gonna be stressful, it's gonna be inconsiderate, not the word I'm looking for. It's gonna be inconvenient, that's the word I'm looking for. It's gonna be inconvenient, and you're just gonna have to, like, the positive feedback and your mental thought process and your goals have to be enough to push you through what you want for your baby, and you know what you want in your goals has to be enough to get you through those hard days. Because let me tell you, there's gonna be hard days. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's not easy. And if you think it's gonna be easy, come back at me in a couple months, okay? With that, dive into your support system, okay? If you have a goal to breastfeed, it's not that you're shaming or you don't want to formula feed, but it's your goal. And you're able to have that goal, and you're able to be really stinking proud of yourself for being able to breastfeed. So make sure your spouse knows that this is a goal of yours. Make sure your mom, make sure your family, make sure your friends, make sure your community that you surround yourself with knows that this is something you're really, really proud of and excited about, because they'll be your support system. Find other breastfeeding mamas that know the struggle and dive into them, because they're there for you. There's Facebook groups, there are, you know, there's me, there's other people that go through struggles and that share their journey, and they share their journey so you can relate and don't feel alone. Because sister, there's days that you're gonna feel alone, and there's days that you're gonna be like, why am I doing this? And then there's gonna be days where your baby is screaming like bloody murder. Nothing is wrong with him, but nothing can calm him down or her, and he's just tense and crying. And you put him to the boob and you watch his tense body just relax and attach to you. And it's not that he's hungry, it's just a comfort thing as well. And that moment, you'll be like, I'm so glad I did not give up. That moment, you'll be so proud of the ability that you're able to do this for your child. So that is like my biggest encouragement, is don't ever give up on a bad day. Don't ever give up during a bad moment. That advice was given to me, and I'm so glad it was. Now let's talk about Thrush, because it sucks. And I did not know that this was so foreign to me that you could, I knew what thrush was. Thrush, like for babies, the white stuff on their tongue, it's a yeast infection, and babies get it. It's very common for babies to get, because they don't have the antibodies to kill a yeast infection in their mouth. We have the same yeast in our mouth, but we're able to kill it off so it never turns into thrush. Now, it's usually pretty easy to get rid of unless you're breastfeeding, which sucks. Some people are blessed to never get it on their nipples, but I was one that was not. So my little man loved me so much that he decided to pass Thrush on to me. So he got it first and then passed it to my nipples, and it's a pain I can't describe. And it literally brings me to tears sometimes. It sucks. And I'm not gonna like really sit here and tell you all the horrible things about it, but I will tell you how you can like figure out if you have thrush. It's a very, very sharp pain. Feels like when they latch on, it feels like glass just shoots up. Every single milk duct, every single part of your boob just shoots up all the way up to your shoulder, and it's toe curling. And then it's when he latches, and then he'll eat, and it doesn't hurt like as he's eating as much. But then your boob can start itching. That also is a sign maybe of mastitis. I haven't had that, but I have had clogged milk ducts. Guys, it's fun. It's worth it though. But so the thrush, you know, you both have to be treated for it. And if you suspect that you or your child has thrush, get seen immediately. Because the longer you wait, the harder it is to get rid of. We've had it since he was 3 or 4 weeks old. He's now 11 weeks old, and we're still battling it. I've been through 2 rounds of antibiotics and on creams. He's been on nystatin drops, and he's been on nystatin or some kind of internal medicine. And we've done the gentian violet. I have a video going to be uploaded about it, but it's not gonna be uploaded till I get rid of it completely. I think we're on the end of it, but it's still there. And then another way you can find out, like obviously their mouth will have some white, and your nipple will actually have some white on it as well. And if you get cold, like if you get cold and you start nipping, if it starts burning really bad when you get cold, that's another sign that you may have thrush. So get seen immediately if you do, because it's very serious. It doesn't harm the baby. Like they're normally not in pain from it. But if it does affect their feeding, it can potentially affect their feeding. My chunky monkey, it's clearly not affecting his feeding, but it's affecting my sanity. Okay, next let's talk about hunger, because y'all, I get hungry. Breastfeeding, it burns calories, okay? And you are hungrier if you're breastfeeding, especially when he's actually feeding. I just find myself hungry while he's eating. Plus you're sitting there and all you wanna do is like eat or be on your phone. So always have your phone next to you and have little snack packs. I love the Belvita, I think is what they're called. The little cracker snacks. I really like those while I'm feeding. And I also really like to grab I like to make little snack packs of veggies in a Ziploc bag and keep them in the fridge. So when I know I'm about to feed him, I grab one of those, I go sit down with him, and I have something to snack on while I'm feeding him. If you make sure that you grab something ahead of time, you're not gonna sit there and snack on chips or grab, plan ahead if you want to stay healthier during breastfeeding, because it's very, very easy to just dive into junk food or easy processed food, because it's easier to get, right? Faster. Especially first time moms, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. And so trying to manage, your health and a baby and everything is insane. So yeah, you're definitely hungrier. Grab snack packs. You'll be good to go. Drink water. Drink so much water. Oh my gosh. Another big thing I noticed is if you don't drink water, your milk supply definitely goes down, and the baby gets so frustrated because he'll be like sucking, like, give me something. And I've made the mistake of not getting enough water in twice now, and it's hell for everybody. It is hell for everybody. So water, stick to your water. You also will get dehydrated so much easier with them feeding because they're taking so much out of you. So you have to put it back into you, right? The last thing I want to share with you guys is a product that changes the game for breastfeeding. You're not supposed to, like they say, not to pump or to use this product until 6 weeks postpartum. I don't think it really makes that big of a difference with milk production. I haven't seen any difference, but to each his own, okay? You don't have to listen to me. I'm just sharing my experience. A Haka. You guys, a Haka. I'm gonna do a video actually demonstrating, not with my actual boob, but I'll use like a balloon or something. But a Haka is magical. Actually, let me go get one. Hold on. Okay, so here's a Haka. And the reason why this is so awesome is because I didn't even know this was a thing, but when you breastfeed off, like say this boob also lets down and you leak all over your shirt, all over your bra, all over your blankets, all over the babe. You leak all over everything if you don't have your Haka on. And basically every time I lay down in the room to feed Kingston, I have to yell for Shorty, babe, pass me the Haka. Babe, pass me the Haka. Babe, pass me the Haka. No, for real, this thing, lifesaver. So it also collects milk to where you could have a bottle later on if you're like in a hurry and you don't have time to sit there and feed him. Because you didn't plan good enough like I do very often, you have a few ounces to feed your baby from your Haka, from your other boob, okay? So you're feeding him here, you put this on the other boob. Can you even see? Hold on. So you feed the baby here, you put this here. You're feeding him. What you do to the boob to get a good suction, the suctions and then the let down falls into here. So you flip it over like this, okay? You flip it over, you squeeze, you put your nipple right here, okay? So you put your nipple right there, it's still squeezed, and then you flip it over so it creates a suction on your nipple, and then when you let go, this will stay tight, and your nipple will be right here, and it'll be flowing, like milk will be flowing out. And now, you know, at first I could only get a couple ounces at a time, maybe 1 to 2 ounces. Now I can get, and that was before I was using it properly. Now that I use it this way, it literally creates a good suction to where I can get a good 4 ounces in my Haka. I almost need to buy the larger Haka so I can get a couple more ounces, because this thing will get full. It's super awesome. Oh my gosh, I'm Haka. Go get a Haka. Go get a Haka. Sponsor me, Haka. Not sponsored. But I think that's all I have to share for you guys. I really, oh, just kidding. There's one more thing. Lactation cookies. I eat a bag of lactation cookies, the made milk ones or whatever. I eat one like probably every other day or like 2 a week or something. They're like little bags. They taste good. They're not horrible. And it like gets your little sugar craving, and it helps with milk production. So yeah, that's my update on my breastfeeding journey. We are 11 weeks in. My small term goal was to make it to 3 months, and in 2 weeks, that's our 3-month mark. So that's really exciting. So my next goal is 6 months. I don't have a huge goal. I'm just listening to my body, listening to my baby, doing what feels right at the time. And you know, when my time comes to end, that'll be that, and I'll be okay with that. I'm just really proud of myself. And I encourage you to do what makes you proud and what makes you and your family happy. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, if you enjoyed this video, thumbs it up here on YouTube. That helps me if you guys didn't know. It's a huge, huge way to support your YouTubers. So if you have other YouTubers that you love watching, thumbs up their video. It's not that hard. Leave a comment down below, letting them know you liked the video, or sharing your personal experience, or dropping your favorite emoji, or letting me know where Facebook fam is, or saying hi, okay? Because I love you guys. So remember to love yourself, love someone else, spread some positivity in the world, because we need way, way, way more of it. Be the best you can be. Hashtag love ever, hurt never. Don't drink the haterade, drink the Gatorade or the coffee. P.S. Yes, I drink coffee and breastfeed. And the crowd went wild. Yeah, I do it. Drink your coffee, mama. If you need coffee to be not a zombie, drink your coffee. Don't drink the haterade, drink the coffee.